Hi, this is Rick Surowicz. I'm here in my studio. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Rick Surowicz Watercolor. At any time during this video, you can click the link at the lower right hand corner and subscribe to my channel. If you do enjoy the video, be sure to hit the like button. If you want to learn more about my YouTube videos or my self-paced courses or my live online classes, you can click on the links that appear at the end of the video. This video is one in a series of rural farm scenes that I'm doing. I don't live in a rural area, but I'm not far from many rural areas that surround me in Northeast Ohio. It's a subject I enjoy painting, and I hope you enjoy the video. Hi, this is Rick back in the studio, and I am ready to begin this painting. So this is a small 8x10 painting, and you can see it's a fairly simple subject with simple shapes. Now while I'm painting this 8x10, this would make a very interesting larger painting. Actually, even a full sheet. If you can imagine these nice large shapes with a detail here in this band, it can be a very interesting large painting. Now, one of the things I've done, if you look at the photograph, this band of trees and buildings is pretty much centered. So I've shifted it up so that it's more a third, 2/3 ratio. That's a better design. So I have 2/3 land, 1/3 sky. And I'm going to vignette this a little bit. I could just go ahead and paint a large shape here, but I'm going to vignette a little bit, let some paint flow a little, and you'll see how that goes a little bit later in the process. But I'm going to start by putting a very simple wash on. So let's see. I'm going to just take a wash brush here. I'll take a little cerulean blue. This is a silver black velvet brush, and I'm going to lead this bead of water down my page. Add some water to that and let that thin out a little bit as I get down a little lower. And each time I reload my brush, first I'm dipping some water in some water to thin it out a little bit. Now I'm just taking clear water, and I'm going to bring that down so I can see a little bit of that peeking around the structures. But that's about it. So it's just cerulean blue, and I'm going to give that a quick dry because I'm gonna keep some kind of broken edges along here, and I need dry paper to create that with the trees. So let me give that a quick dry. Okay. So I've cleaned my palette and I've dried this, and now I'm going to come in, and this is a number 8 round brush, and I'm going to put a variety of some greens here. I'm going to take some permanent green light, a little bit of raw sienna, let those mix a little bit. Get my sap green, which I like to use, a little royal blue, add a little alizarin crimson. Graze that down, and we'll see where we can go with that. So I'm going to start with maybe the little brighter. Actually, add a little hands of yellow to that, and there we go. So I'm going to start with some brighter yellow greens, and I'll go here. This is an 8 round brush I'm using, and it kind of has a blunt tip on it. It's been worn a little, and so it doesn't have much of a point. I'm going to drag that. Bring in a little bit of the darker mixture. Now this is a very simple painting. It's a small 8x10. It's not intended to be a long, drawn out painting. It's part of a series of small rural subject paintings that I'm doing, and you can spend many hours on painting, or you can do something simplified, a little bit, simple shapes, and that's how I'm treating this series. I'm just keeping it very simple as opposed to something that I might spend many hours on. I like to use a variety of greens, and this is a little too fine for the brush I was using, because like I said, it has a bit of a blunt tip, so I want to get around some of these intricate areas with a smaller brush. And I think a little painting like this is good practice for somebody who's, hasn't done a lot of large paintings, and just you can use the same skill sets, but just much smaller format, simple shapes, and less intimidating than say doing a full sheet watercolor. See how I'm just treating it. I'm not trying to paint leaves on these. These are too far away. Just trying to get the shapes, changes in value, some changes in color. Some a little brighter, some a little more neutral, some semi-neutrals. And I'm going to drop this in here. Then I'm going to come in and paint a darker tree shape over top of this with some harder edges. Don't just make balls of texture either. I've said this before in my other videos. You still need to consider the overall shape. You can't just throw a bunch of bald texture together and without any regard to the shape, and then make it look like a tree. So let's see. I'm going to try and create a little intentional backwash here, because I want just to show some layers of trees here. So I'm going to drop some water in this, and this is dried to the point where it's going to start to backwash a little, so that it gives me a suggestion of a little tree in front. And I can do the same again up to the edge. That way it looks like it's going behind that structure. And I'm going to do a little of that over here. I'm going to drop just a little bit of water. Take some moisture off my brush, dry it, lift out a little bit. Maybe just a couple little drops down here, so it looks like there's some smaller bushes or something. I like to do that sometimes, intentionally cause some backwashes, because it can suggest, trees or bushes or fog or something. So I'm pretty happy with that. And I'm going to, that's dry enough. I think I can just go ahead, and I'm going to put these evergreens or whatever they are back there, fir trees, much darker, and that's too unnatural blue-green. So I'll add some alizarin crimson to that. That grays that down. I don't want to be too strong, because it's going to take over as a focal point. But so now got this. There might even be some kind of an eastern pine, whatever these are. These tall evergreens. I'm going to go ahead and put those in here now. I'm just using a 4 round brush. This is an Aqua Elite, a Princeton Aqua Elite. Keeps a pretty nice point. Like I said, it's a size 4. Just kind of let that soften into this wash here. Yeah, I don't need to get too picky or too fussy anywhere else. So I'm going to leave that. I'm going to give that a, let's see, you know what, while I have my colors here, I was going to say this at the end, but while I have the colors, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to paint this area here. And what I'm going to do come along here with some water. Make some vertical marks. Still have a little blue in my brush, but it's all right. All right, so I've put clear water on there. Now I'm going to take some of this gold and some of this green. This is my 8 round brush. Let's see, I'm going to take a little bit of quinacridone gold. I kind of like that that white band there. Let's see. Trying to decide if I want to spray this. Sometimes I'll use a spray and soften it, but I don't think I'm gonna get a little darker value in here though. Balance that value. Maybe just a little bit here. A little lighter. All right, so I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to dry that. Okay, I've dried that, and I've cleaned my palette. So now I'm going to put a little bit of shading on these buildings. I'm not going to get too involved with them. And let's see, I've got a number 6 round brush. Take a little bit of cobalt blue. Maybe a little rose madder. I'm going to keep it leaning towards the blue side, I think. And so I think there's a little more shadow on this side. Yeah, I'm going to leave it a little bit stronger. No, I'm going to go with it here. We'll go ahead and shade this. Pretty simple. And maybe I'll go a little darker on this side here. I'm going to leave that light instead of darker there. Put some just a little bit of this wash here. Here. Go a little darker. Should have got a little darker here. I'd like to have this edge, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and put the slightly darker value in there. A little bit of royal blue. All right. So I need to go, I need to dry that because I need to be able to paint this in and not have the color I'm going to be putting bleeding into that. And let's see. Actually, I guess I will go darker here. Alright, let me dry that, then I can put my other washes on. Okay, that's dry. So I'm going to take a little bit of burnt sienna. Maybe a little, this is pyro red. This wants some kind of a red orange, but it needs to be a little deeper in color. So I'll go something like that. And we've got the base of this. I'm going to leave the suggestion of a few windows in there. Let's see. Come around the corner. Get a little more neutral. And I've got this building. Some kind of a window there, a white shape. Again, I'll go with a more neutral, semi-neutral version over here on this side where it's more in shadow. It's actually pretty much of a gray. I'm going to add a little bit of this red orange in there. Okay. So now I need to get a quick dry so I can put some dark marks on there for some of these windows. Alright, so I have a 4 round brush. I'm going to take a little of my royal blue. I'll mix it with this here. I guess I will go darker. Get just a little bit of the edge here. Some windows, show a little more of the edge. And just a little bit of a yellow green right here. Some kind of a bush or something. Maybe a little bit of that raw sienna in there. I want to clean this edge up. Alright, so now I'll take a little raw umber, some of this royal blue. A little water in there. And I'll show some tree trunks and branches. Not a lot. Just a touch darker value back here. Alright, let me give that a dry. Okay, so that's dry, and that's where I'm going to stop. Just a very simple interpretation of this scene. That's centered. Instead of going all the way down here with a big wash, which I could have done, I would have made this a big shape. I decided to kind of vignette that, let that kind of fall down, drip down here, and let this larger shape kind of lead us to this area right here, and this kind of quadrant here in this third of the composition. So very simple. Like I said, this could just as easily be a very large painting. You don't always have to get crazy with detail and have all kinds of noise in your painting. It's a combination of some softness and some hard edges, and that's about it. So I hope you enjoyed that, and thanks for watching.